I'm glad. And actually, I've written another one for her next album too.
May
Don't know
I-
whether it's ever going to make. She hasn't heard it yet. She probably hates it.
Hope not. Hope not. Well, just as CD has come in and been so important in the field, so has MTV in the United States. And you've got a song on this album called Money for Nothing, in which the first line we hear is the old MTV promotional slogan, I want my MTV.
They're the same words, yes. I think the music's different.
And I think perhaps the sentiment
To
is a
protect
bit
the
different.
innocent.
I think the sentiment is a bit different, isn't it?
I suppose so. I suppose so. I actually wrote that song because I was up in this, I was in a store. I was looking at kitchens and kitchen equipment and fridges and cookers and ovens, and there was a lot of televisions down one wall, and all these guys who worked in the store were watching MTV. The TVs were tuned to MTV, and they were all talking about it. So I started writing the song in the store. I actually sat down in the front window of the store, you know, in one of their custom kitchen sort of display areas, and started writing the song there. It was basically what the guys were saying about MTV in the store. Guys who worked there, delivery guys, and the warehouse guys.
MTV has been given a lot of credit for helping groups who video well, for example, Duran Duran, Stray Cats, and so forth. But is there another side of the coin? Are there artists who MTV hurts or inhibits? In which category do Dire Straits fall?
I've no idea. I really have no idea about any of that. I don't follow it. It's like I don't read Billboard, or I don't follow the charts, and I don't really take much notice of what. I remember being told by a DJ in America that we test very well, and I'm not quite sure what it means, but I have an idea that it's some kind of polling system that they've got with the public.
Do you yourself enjoy videos, making them?
No, not really. I think that the vast majority of videos are a real disappointment. I mean, I think they shut down a lot of the what's on record, and they make it specific. And I mean, nobody's more guilty of that than us. I mean, I think that we've experimented. I mean, I've tried to do a thing that was specific, that shut it down to one particular thing, tried to do a thing that opened it out, and have directors just express themselves with it, rather than having me or somebody tell them what exactly is going on. I mean, I think basically the whole thing is failing miserably, left, right, and center. Because if it's going to tell another story from what the song is saying, then that's not making it. And if it's going to say exactly what the song is saying again, then that's not making it either, because you're just saying something twice. So I think really that the way to go with video is to, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, is to either abstract a thing completely, as you would with a painting or something, or just stick to performance. And I mean, I really actually like performance video. I like things like Alchemy, which we did, which was just real footage from one real night, and the record is exactly what we played, with no studio overdubs or anything, and it's just real. And that's what happened, and that's what people are watching. I mean, the only inserts in Alchemy is where we didn't have any light on stage at that point to shoot. So we stuck some extra stuff in. Kids outside the theater, I think it was, or something. But generally, I think good performance is the best.
Certainly, if one looks back to Sultans of Swing, which was in the pre-video era, or at least before everybody had to do them,
Yeah.
it sounds impossible to have done that literally without making it look...
So I think it would be stupid. I mean, apart from anything else, a song like Sultans of Swing is supposed to work on a number of levels. It's supposed to work on a number of levels, so there's no point in... I mean, if you go and... What do? You go and get a pub and get a jazz band and stick them up in the corner. You know, that's not what it's about, necessarily. I mean, it is on one level. It's not just about that. So you'd have to structure a video. If you're going to shoot a video of that, you'd have to get into all kinds of real heavy trips. And I don't see that would be possible. You'd end up probably just confusing people. It would be a tremendous job. And also, from the point of view of all the things that I've got to do, I wouldn't have the time to get involved in shooting a video at that kind of level, at that kind of same intensity, or something that had to work on the same amount of levels as the song does. So...
You're changing the musician into a movie maker.
Well, very much so. I mean, there is that, which of course we're not. And another thing is that, like most guitar strummers aren't actors. This is only too embarrassingly obvious. You know.
How do you propose to get around this for Brothers in Arms, or will you make a video of that song?
Well, I think maybe we will, but I think we'll be basing things a lot more in terms of just playing the song and letting people have their own rooms in this song, giving people the chance and not insulting their intelligence with, you know, a piece of, with a bunch of people with like beach balls on their heads or something, and something completely unrelated. I think it'll give people a chance to watch the song being played and then to make their own movies. I think people make their own movies with songs. It's like you were saying earlier on, your first love is radio, and that one of the reasons for that, I'm sure, is, and why everybody's is that it's not insulting people's intelligence, and it's letting people use their own imaginations. It's like comparing bad films to, you know, how many bad films have been made from good books? I mean, a lot more than good films have been made from bad ones, I think.
Do you feel that there are a whole series of financial music business pressures which you have to avoid somehow to maintain your peace of mind?
How do you mean financial?
Well, we were talking about videos, for example. To sell records, make videos. That's a common thought.
Oh, no, I don't think that's the case. I think if we don't have to worry about any of that at all. I think if we were just coming up now, if we just made a record now, then we would be concerned about all of those things. I think that now it just doesn't matter at all, and we can do exactly what we want to do.
You do have phenomenal success in reaching a large number of countries, as witnessed the fact you're able to do 220 dates around the world. It's strictly on musical content, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think so.
Which is good news in terms of what it says about the audience around the world, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that the fans are fantastic, unbelievable bunch of people, you know. You're talking about millions of people.
And loyal fans too, because you've just set a record for most dates at Wembley Arena, and you've sold out without people even hearing a new album.
No, right. I mean, I can't remember how many it was the promoter said that we could do, but we've had to stop at 12 Wembleys because we have to go to Canada straight after.
That's a great achievement. You've led this album singles-wise with So Far Away. Any reason why you've chosen that, or is that the most direct, catchy tune?
To me, it's very direct. Yeah, direct is a good word. It is. It's quite. To me, it's very straightforward, and it's a way of dealing with that side of things without getting all hung up about the finer points of this and that. It's just a way of saying, well, here's a single, here's the album.
Did you know when you were writing it, oh, this is the single? Or did
No.
you indeed say, I've got to write a single?
I never even thought it would be a song. I didn't even know whether it would be a song, to be quite honest with you. And then I just write these things down, and if they turn out to be tunes, then fine. You know, but I didn't know it was going to be a tune.
It worked out. Do you sometimes bear in mind the length of the tracks, or do you just go on until you feel your expression has been made?
I'll just go on until it's finished, but the length, the only thing that's a hang-up about length is records, to me, albums. You know, and that's just a drag about having to make an album, which is a piece of plastic. You know, if they were all compact discs, it'd be no problem at all. You just do your songs and that would be that. But as it is, we've had to edit for the album.
Are you seriously suggesting then that without that constraint you probably would write longer pieces?
If there wasn't that constraint, what I'd probably do, I'd probably just go quite the other way and do tunes that were like, 90 seconds long, just because it was that way.
Well, you've done a couple of film soundtracks now, which are quite variable, really. I mean, you may have incidental music for a scene, or you could have a long theme. Have you learned sufficiently from those two to know whether you'd like to do more?
Yeah, I'd like to do more. I just don't have time. And I mean, it's like, doing film stuff for me is like, it's kind of like a real expensive hobby.
Expensive?
Well, you see, the way that I would do a film score is, first of all, I'd probably start doing it completely wrong, and it would take far too long to do it, because I like the idea of actually making a record that will stand up by itself at the end of it, from music which is in the film, without just doing one decent track and then a bunch of padding, which is what a lot of film scores, to me, seem to be like, records anyway. So then I would use a fair amount of studio time, and I'd use a good studio and try and do some good music. So it would probably be pretty expensive. And I wouldn't, so I'm not very sharp about all these things. It takes me a long time to learn that sort of stuff. So it would be longer than it would take your average guy to do a film score. I would need, at least 2 or 3 weeks to record it, put it down. So I couldn't do it in 2 afternoons. So in order, for instance, for it to be like a going concern, you'd really have to be much faster.
Did you at all get any aggravation from the other members of Dire Straits when you were doing Local Hero or Cal, in the lines of, speed it up, we've got to do a Dire Straits project
Not
again?
at all, because mostly those guys were involved. Because they're the guys I know, and we just work together. So it's a great way of using other musicians and getting to know other musicians too. But the guys have been involved in a lot of the soundtrack stuff too.
Perhaps because both of the films I mentioned were done with David Putnam, the producer. You may have an association there, at least in the minds of the public. Is there one in your mind?
Oh yeah, very much so. I think with David, yeah. A special guy, I think. Yeah. And I'm very fond of both the directors. I was fortunate enough to get a good relationship going with. And I think a lot of both of them, of Bill Forsyth and Pat O'Connor. So that's very important to me, because when you're doing a film score, you're not just pleasing yourself, you see, you're pleasing somebody else. You have to try and put yourself in their shoes. You have to sympathize. You have to be trying to do what they want to do but can't. It's almost like saying, I feel this. Then you have to put yourself in their position. And of course they're different too. For instance, Pat knew exactly where he wanted music to begin, where he wanted it to end, and we worked it out to the second. And it's very demanding. It's a very demanding thing to do. I think it's a good brain exercise.
But you've talked about it with such enthusiasm that I must believe you will do it again someday.
Yeah, well, I think I would. Like to have another go, you know, because I mean, when I started, I had no idea how you even approached something like that. By the time I did the second one, well, I still really had no idea because, and in fact, when I did the third one, I sort of looked at Cal, and I looked at all these cues, the music cues, which I got them all printed up on a sheet, got them to print them all up on a sheet, and I sort of looked at it and I thought, well, I can't do this. And the way I did it was just by starting at the beginning and just going on till it was finished. So in other words, the tip is really, if you've ever got something that you think that you can't do, just write it all down and start at the beginning, and then by the time you've finished, you realize that you've actually done it.
Do you find that you do projects as they strike you, or do you really have to book your own engagements months, or perhaps like opera singers, a couple of years ahead?
Well, what I'm doing now is just, because the band stuff is going to go on for at least a year or so, I can't do anything for anybody else right now. And I've started turning down a lot more stuff. Just learning how to say no to things is one of the
first, I suppose, offers which you would have given a digit to get when you were struggling are so attractive you always say yes, but you actually do have to learn to say no more, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like learning how to go to bed at night instead of staying up. Even if you want to be around to see everything that's happening.
Have you enjoyed the production of other recording artists you've done?
Yes, I have. And I really enjoyed playing for people. The last bunch of sessions I did was for Brian Ferry, and I really enjoyed doing Brian's record. I think it's going to be a great record. Real nice sounding record.
Do you find that within the world of world-class musicians, there aren't the ego hang-ups some people might think? In other words, with Brian, for example?
Not with Brian, not at all. I think he's a lovely guy and a good man. I don't think that he's just interested in doing good work. There are, I mean, other others that conduct things slightly differently. But Brian was great to me.
So you know that in 1986 you'll be doing Dire Straits gigs until March, and that's a quarter of the year gone. Have you looked beyond that at all?
Do you mean the end of the tour? I should think what will happen at the end of the tour is that we'll have a bunch of other gigs to do, because we'll be like tuned up to playing, and what happens is we just get hotter and hotter as the tour goes on. So I think that we'll probably do some more playing, and I would probably at some stage we do sort of stretches. It's like jail terms, and then you get let out for a couple of weeks. And in that time, I'd like to do some more recording, I think. Just do another EP or something. We get a little break sometime.
Different kinds of work are relaxation for you?
Yeah, I think doing some sessions would be great.
How do you determine what to do on stage? How do you present yourselves with a light show, for example?
Yeah, the lights are real important to us. So we do think a lot about that. In other words, I think we do dramatize things on stage quite a lot. I think it's worth doing that. Because, I mean, you're out to present the tunes and present the songs and give people some drama, give them a positive thing, feel. And we do think about that. I mean, surprising as it may seem, we're just like a bunch of blokes shambling around. It's not really quite like that. We do present tunes.
No, I saw the Hammersmith gig that formed the basis of the Alchemy recording.
Yeah.
And it seemed you had taken great care and timed it well as well.
Yeah, but it's like you need some time to organize all of these things. Yeah, it's worth it, I think. I think people then have a good time. You give people a good time. I mean, the thing is about our gigs are like celebrations. You know, people come from all over the place. They get on, they have bus trips to Belgium, and you know, they come from England, they come from Wales, they come from everywhere, Scotland and Ireland, and they come from all different countries to other countries. So it just becomes this like a party thing. So it better be good. I mean, you better be good. You better be good when you get up there and play. You better know what you're doing, and you better know how to play, and you better know what's happening with the show. It's got to be together. And we're going to be up there, we're going to be playing for a long time, and we do play for a long time. And then, so we make the thing, we try and create a kind of a flow, rather than just sort of go on there and pick our noses and say, well, what we're going to play now, which is all very well. But it's not a club gig. It's a different thing. You have to deal with tens of thousands of people sometimes.
Are the shows the highlights of your day, or are they the nerve-wracking experiences they've been for some stars in the past, like John Lennon, who suffered?
Well, we're just tuned into it, you see, so it's not nerve-wracking at all. It's a real high point, sure, that 2 or 3 hours, whatever it is. It's a high point, but it's not nerve-wracking, because it's together. So it's enjoyable. That's the main thing. It's enjoyable. It's like a mutual fun time, because you get to meet all the people that come to see you, you know. And a lot of them, they get in the dressing room afterwards as well. They've come, tour manager sort of ships them all in batches into this dressing room. So you get to meet a lot of people too. It's good.
Do you use the tours as an opportunity to join a band and see the world, or do you actually just see hotel rooms?
Oh no, you do see a lot. You get to see, and the interesting thing about touring every so often is that you get to see different countries at different times. So you can gauge a country like a couple of years on. In other words, Amsterdam was a certain way 3 years ago, now it's like this. And you sort of talk to people and you see how it's changed in 3 years.
Do you find that perhaps this gives you a kind of political or social insight which you feel may be lacking in some politicians?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I mean, nobody felt, for instance, there was a bit of a depression in America in the early, I think it was probably sometime around 1980. There was a fuel crisis and people weren't going out to shows and things like that. And I don't think anybody felt that more seriously than performers and touring performers at that time, and got a gauge of it, just how it affected society. Or the way, I mean, I was talking about Amsterdam, for instance, the way that city went has changed because of events, and just being away from it for a year and then coming back and then getting the full impact of things that have happened. It's quite interesting. It's quite... whereas if you're there all the time, it's just such a gradation that you don't really notice changes.
I would imagine that one way of making a tour more fascinating for you would be to make the dates as much of an event for you as they are for the fans.
Yeah.
For example,
Right.
what will you do when you go to Israel?
God, I don't know. I mean, we don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about Israel at all. We just know that apparently the audiences, if you're good, then the audiences are really out of sight. You know, that they love good concerts. They're really into it. And I hear that the venue's amazing. And one of the venues that we're going to play, an open air place, I think it's the Sultan Pool it's called, which is beautiful. So we're looking forward to it tremendously.
Are you doing any other unusual venues on this tour?
I think we're doing an open air one in the States. We're doing a bunch of open air ones. We tend to do things like bull rings in the south of France and Spain, yeah. Which is weird because you feel like you're just going out to do battle. It's like you're going out and it's sort of we who are about to die, you know, kind of thing. And in Italy, going out, the Juventus Stadium in Turin, I remember, was about 90, 100,000 people in there, all over the pitch as well as all around the sides. And that's a strange feeling too. You know what people feel like when they go out, what the guys feel like when they go out to play a cup final. You really get that feeling when you go on.
Some artists can't write in these conditions. They have to wait till they're off the road. Others thrive on picking up and basing songs on their experiences while on tour. Do you fall into either of those two categories?
I don't write that well on the road, really. I haven't written that many things on the road. Maybe this time I will, because it's more relaxed all the time. Every time that we do it, we get more into it, better do it better. So maybe I will. But by and large, I like to have time just to be able to turn around when I get back home.
Have you found recently it's the lyrical ideas that come first, or is it a riff?
I've been asked that about 1,000,000 times, and I still don't know the answer.
In other words, each time it's its own case.
Yeah, that's it. Each song has its own rules. I think more and more words, though. First. More and more. But not necessarily. Because as soon as you write something, it has a certain rhythmical sense to it. It makes itself understood better in terms of a rhythm, in terms of a musical thing. And then you finish it off by, having created some music, you might finish it off by, through the music will actually suggest us other rhythms.
Do you feel more self-conscious now as a singer of those words? I suppose a lot of groups, when they start off, they don't pay too much attention to the singing. But now you're well along the way.
No, I don't think of myself as a singer at all, really. I don't think of things in that sense. To me, I'm just the same as when I started.
Do you?
Which I don't think anything's changed at all. I think it's exactly the same as when I was sitting. Because I still sit at home and write tunes with a guitar, so I don't think it's any different. I don't think, I'm sure Barbra Streisand thinks of herself as a singer. Although maybe an actress too. Sorry, let me think of a singer. You know what I mean? Well, I don't really think in those terms. I think of myself as more a guitar player, really, who writes songs and gets them done, gets them out and gets them across, I suppose. Rather than the sing style of thing is not my thing.
Would you rather sing them yourself, or has it just turned out that way? After all, Pete Townsend had Roger Daltrey sing them.
No, I would rather. Because I've heard other people trying to sing those songs and it just never really seems to work to me, really. Unless it's the kind of song that does translate across well. I mean, I've heard other people do versions of things which can be okay. They're fine. It's just. I mean, I might not be technically a very good singer, but just there's a certain amount of expression in there.
And a very distinctive voice. Can you recognize that yourself?
Well, it's just not like it's not like it sure doesn't sound like Johnny Mathis, that I do know.
Perhaps for that reason, when I first heard the Money for Nothing track, I thought, hang on, it's got to be someone else with you, because you couldn't sound like that as well, could you? And of course it turns out there is another guest vocalist on that track.
Yeah, well, Sting was in Montserrat at the time we were recording. It was very useful. He was on holiday. And he goes there a lot. But I know him pretty well anyway, so we're pals.
Did he need any arm twisting at all?
No, not at all. No, he said he'd be honored to do it. It was great.
It turned out well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he liked it. He liked the tune. very soulful guy.
Some people foresee a limited life in their rock and roll career. They think, oh, 5 or 10 years, that's the most I'll get out of this, make a lot of money and retire. Are you a lifer?
Yeah. Life stretch, I think. I really think so. It's just, I think I'll be doing it right up to when I've just fall over. And that'll be it. I'd like to go out with a guitar in my hands, really would, and boots on, definitely.
Well, you've got some boots on now, so just give your guitar.
Yeah, for next week.
You're ready. Any other goals?
Yeah, I'd like to do a record that I liked, at some point. And I'd like to be able to do records that I just liked. But I don't seem to be able to sing them the way that I always feel that, Like I haven't actually done a record that I really, really liked. So I always tend to like other kinds of records.
Well, the people have liked them. Maybe the fact that you haven't liked them is an incentive for you to keep doing another one.
That's right, yeah, I think that's what it is.
Well, long may it be that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.